Ain't nobody messing with my queens, listen up. You ain't gotta love me, cause I love me. Put a hand up if you in the trenches building confidence, and put a hand up if you need some mending for your heart that's healing. Salute, say you in attendance, this army's relentless. A weekly dose of motivation, give me your attention. This is for all the queens going heal by any means. They chasing our self-esteem, it's not as hard as it seems. Go, go, go queen, go. Ain't nobody messing with my queens, listen up.
Welcome to the All Queens Army podcast. It's your girl, your host, Coach Breezy. I am here today with another dope episode for the queens. Yes, honey, I'm so pumped because today is #Motivation Monday, and y'all know it's my favorite day of the week. Why? Because I get to motivate the shit out of you. Okay. And today that is exactly what I'm going to do. And I'm super pumped about it because today's topic is one for the books, y'all. It's one for the books. I'm telling you, by the time you guys finish listening to today's episode, y'all gonna be like, damn, Coach Breezy. Yes, baby. I drank my Red Bull today. I'm telling y'all, I'm on one today. I'm on one. I'm just telling y'all, I'm just letting y'all know ahead of time. Okay. So for real, y'all, today's topic is one for the books. We're going to be talking about how to know when you've grown out of a relationship, okay? Ooh, this is a good one. And y'all want to know why it's so good? Because I ain't just talking about romantic relationships, okay? I'm talking about all relationships. I'm talking about how to know if you've grown out of relationship with your friends, maybe with your job, maybe with some of your co-workers, maybe with some of your family, and your boo or your bae. I'm talking about all relationships, okay? If it ends in ships, I'm talking about it, all right? So before we jump into today's topic, a couple of really quick announcements. First and foremost, remember to check out the blogs. They drop every Thursday, so make sure you check it out. Additionally, I created life coaching programs and packages for you queens. So if you need one-on-one assistance with something that you're working on or something that you're trying to overcome, you can enroll in one of the life coaching programs to see which one makes sense for you so that I can work with you one-on-one on a topic or an issue or something that you're working on that you need to overcome. Okay, so last but not least, make sure you subscribe to the All Queens Army podcast. We are on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, YouTube, Amazon's Audible app, Google Podcasts, and Facebook. Okay. So finally, we're going to jump right into today's topic, which is how to know when you have grown out of a relationship. This is one of the commonly asked questions that I get. It is not the most frequently asked question, but it is a common theme that I see in my inbox and in my DMs where people are questioning and second guessing themselves because they're not sure if what they feel or what they're experiencing are signs that it's time for them to let go of a friendship or a relationship, or how to deal with a difficult parental relationship, or things that are going on with their kids, or something happening within their family. And you get signs, and sometimes you start not being sure whether or not you're supposed to work through the problems with the person, or if you're getting signs that it's time to just let it go because you've completely grown apart, or that relationship is costing you too much of your own peace. Okay, so that's why we're going to talk about this today. I thought it would be a really great topic because all relationships are mirrors. We talk about this all the time in the All Queens Army to help you guys understand what it is that you're seeing and feeling and experiencing in relationships. And again, I'm not talking about just romantic relationships. All relationships are mirrors. Even the relationship between you and your parents, they are mirrors. Relationships reflect back to us different parts of ourselves, okay? So what happens is in others, we see their great qualities. We identify the reasons why we like them. We can identify the reasons why we enjoy their company and the relationship, why we feel connected to them, and what makes us want to continue to have them be a part of our lives. We see those things in them, the good things, the good qualities. We can identify with those things. We also see in others their flaws. We see their shortcomings. We see the things about them that irritate us. We see their childhood traumas and insecurities playing out right in front of us every single day. We see the way that they are self-destructing their own lives. We see the issues that they have socially and with their families and with their friends, and we can identify and point out their problems and what they're doing wrong that's causing their problems. That's what happens in relationships. There are certain things about people that we see, good and bad, that we can readily identify and that we can relate to 100%. And there are also things that connect us to people, right? There are certain qualities and characteristics about people that keep you connected, which is why you choose to keep keep them in your life and keep them as a part of your life. So they're good and they're not so good qualities. They're wonderful personality traits, and then they're personality traits that they need to evolve from, grow through, get over, work through, work on. We see these things, and let me explain something to you, queens and kings. All of that, every single quality, characteristic, personality trait, attitude, habit, mindset, belief that you see within that person, good or bad, mother or father, child or best friend, boo or bae, situationship or coworker, every single thing that you see in that person is a reflection of you. When you're able to identify and pinpoint those things about other people, again, good or bad, you are actually looking at your own blind spot. Again, remember, the things about other people that you love and the things about other people that drive you a little crazy, the issues that you have with other people and the things that you enjoy about them all represent you. It's a reflection of you. You're looking at yourself. You like certain things about certain people because it resonates with you. It is a like quality. 9 times out of 10, you're the same way. You also dislike things about people and get agitated about certain things about people because it also is you. It is a like quality. You are just like that person in that regard. That's why it irritates you. So just like that's why you love certain things about people is because it's a like quality. It's the same reason why you dislike certain things about people, because it's a like quality. Now, a lot of people do not want to own that. I promise y'all don't know how many people I talk to every day who will deny to the hills that the things that they see in other people that agitate them, or the things that they want to call out about other people that are wrong, that are ridiculous, that are crazy, those things are reflections of some part of you. A reflection does not mean that you are exactly that thing. What it means is that somewhere within you, your energy vibration is vibrating at the same level of what that characteristic is that they had. It means that there's something about your energy level that attracts that like energy. Whether you like it or not, whether you want to believe it or not, it's facts, okay? And because of the fact that relationships are reflections of us, that also makes relationships, and like I said, all kinds, it makes relationships institutions for growth. That's why they reflect our blind spots, because they're institutions for growth. And the only way that relationships last over periods of time are two things. Either the two people that are involved in the relationship are growing together, or the two people that are involved in the relationship are staying stagnant together. That's the only way that you will see relationships that last for long periods of time, okay? Because if one person is growing and the other is not, inevitably the two will grow apart. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. But I had to give you guys the foundation of relationships being a reflection, because if the relationship is not reflecting, bringing out a part of you that needs to grow, because the conflict and the frustrations that you'll find in relationships, and I'm not talking about necessarily conflict and frustrations that are relationship ending per se. I'm talking about even just the little annoying kind of gnat-like type of things that go on. It doesn't matter how big or small the issue is. Every opportunity that you come up against where you feel annoyed or agitated, or you have to work through a problem with a person, is an opportunity for growth. And in every situation, there's a part of it that you need to grow, and there's a part of it that the other person needs to grow. That is natural for every relationship. There is no relationship in the world that does not require you to grow or change or evolve in some way. So here's the thing. Relationships that continue to grow, continue to prosper. Relationships that get stagnant, meaning both people are staying in the same place, they will probably wind up staying together because they're both in their comfort zone, staying in the same place, being okay with not growing. But I promise you, those are the type of relationships where two people want to stay in their own mess, in their own misery. And that's cool because y'all can have each other. Okay, leave the rest of us the fuck alone, okay? But what I'm saying is relationships where growth is happening on both parties' part may last a lifetime, okay? So what I want to do is I want to give you some signs of some things that you can look out for that may be demonstrating that this relationship is lacking in growth. If it's lacking in growth, it may be time for you to distance yourself from the relationship or just get out of it altogether. It all depends on who the person is, whether you're going to distance or get out of it. But here are some signs that you may be growing out of a relationship, okay? So here's the first one. If your focus has shifted and the person that you're in the relationship with is either not in support of your new focus or not on the same page, I'm telling y'all that is the first indication that you may grow out of that relationship. Now, I'm not saying that when you first start noticing that you're on a different page or that that person's not being supportive, that right then and there you pull the trigger. No, what you want to try to do, if it's someone who you care about and you value the relationship, you do want to try and make an effort to help the person understand your new focus, why you've chosen to change your focus, why you're choosing to evolve and go in a new direction. And sometimes people will get on board. Sometimes people don't support it or they're on different pages just because they don't understand what you're doing. They don't understand your shift. They don't understand why you're pivoting. They're so used to you being a certain way or being in a certain space or behaving a certain way. And you making a huge change and deciding to stop fast and pivot might be jarring to the other person, and it may be confusing and uncomfortable. So I do think that it is worth it to invest some time in making sure the person understands why you're shifting your focus or shifting the way you're doing something. Now, if you've given them time, if you've really tried to explain, if you've really tried to get that person on board and they're still not on board, they're either not supporting you or they're just going to stay on a different page. If it starts to bump up against your morals or your peace or your ability to just do what you need to do, then you've probably started to truly grow past that relationship, meaning you're growing, you're changing, you're evolving. So you're elevating and you're moving up, and that person is still where they are, and you're starting to separate. That's a huge sign that you're growing out of that relationship, okay? Here's another sign, and this is a big one, okay? This one really applies for any person, any relationship in your life, is a person's inability to take accountability for areas of their lives that they need to grow. Baby, I see this all the time. This is such a big reason why so many relationships end, because both people, every relationship, and like I said, I don't care what it is, mother, daughter, father, son, boyfriend, girlfriend, boyfriend, it doesn't fucking matter. Whatever the relationship is, every person is going to have to take accountability for their actions, and they're going to have to make some changes. They're going to have to grow. They're going to be challenged to compromise, challenged to see things from a different perspective, challenged to change the way they're doing things slightly, okay? Nobody has to be a completely different person, but you do have to be willing to alter certain things. You have to be, because you're trying to accommodate a whole nother human being who is not you. They're different from you, okay? And if you love people, then you make certain accommodations for their comfort and for your overall growth so the relationship can survive long periods of time. I mean, if that's the goal, right? Which I think that's the goal most of the time. But all I'm saying is when someone or both parties in that relationship refuse to take accountability, it is relationship ending, and it's relationship ending very, very quickly, because relationships cannot be one-sided. You can't always have one person who's always wrong, who's always apologizing, who's always changing, who's always being the one who's willing to compromise, who's always backing down, who's always walking around on eggshells. No, you can't do that. That is a lopsided relationship. And even if a person is more of a passive person and they're the type of person who will always just take the high road and say, okay, well, I'll give in and I'll compromise. If you have one person in the relationship who does that all the time, the relationship is going to end naturally anyway. It's going to end naturally and eventually anyway, because no one can tolerate that for long periods of time. Eventually, the person who's always bending will break, period. Everybody gets the fuck tired. So if you find yourself in that situation, and like I said, I don't care who it's with, if people cannot be held accountable for the things that they do and own it and work on some of their shortcomings, the relationship is going to come to a halt very shortly after you identify this problem. And let me say this to you, queens, if it's you, if you're the person who refuses to be held accountable, like you never acknowledge that you do stuff, you have a hard time accepting accountability, I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to have some very short and unfulfilling relationships. You're going to have people feeling like you're selfish and like everything is always one-sided and it's all about you, and you never compromise and you never bend and you never try to see other people's perspective. And if you are that type of person, I'm telling you, no one's going to stick around for long periods of time. Period. I just want to be honest and put that out there, okay? Okay, so here's another sign that you may be growing out of a relationship. Do you find yourself tiptoeing around the person to preserve their ego, their feelings, or their insecurities? Baby, listen, you know how many people do this? Especially some of us ladies. For some of these men's goddamn egos. You know what? Stop. Do not tiptoe around no goddamn body, period. And I mean that, Queens don't tiptoe around nothing. First of all, when we walk through, baby, we walk through and we brings the heat, we brings the fire, and we stomp, like Kirk Franklin said. We ain't fitting to be tiptoeing around nothing. Whatever it is that you feel, you speak up for yourself and you say it boldly. Whatever it is that you want and you need, you speak up for yourself and you say it boldly. Whatever makes you feel uncomfortable with somebody doing something that you don't like, you make sure that you stand up to that person and say, hey, you have bumped up against my personal boundary. I do not like this and I don't like how it feels. And you say it boldly. And we are not going to sit around and tiptoe around anyone's ego. We are not going to kiss anyone's ass. Yes, we will give compliments. Yes, we will make sure that when we speak to people, we speak with respect and we don't cut them down and we talk to them gently and we lead our conversations with compassion. But what we will not do, queens, is tiptoe like we walking on a cloud when, baby, we walking with the thunder, okay? That's what we won't do. I'm going to move on before I start preaching, okay? Because that one right there, baby, no sir. No queens will be doing that, okay? So here's another sign. You no longer challenge each other. Now, this one is more for certain friendships and maybe romantic relationships, right? You no longer challenge each other. And the reason that staying challenged in relationships, especially friendships and romantic relationships, the reason that that is so important that you continue to challenge each other is because if you're not challenging your friend or your friend isn't challenging you or you're not challenging your spouse or they're not challenging you, what it means is that you have a bunch of people-pleasing, ass-kissing people around you. And baby, I promise you they not being honest with you. And in situations like that, what you'll actually wind up doing is preventing your growth. See, when you surround yourself with a whole bunch of yes men and yes women and ass kissers and people who just want to roll out the red carpet for you and agree with everything you say because they looking for your validation constantly, when you surround yourself with people like that, one, it shows that you have a major insecurity and may even potentially have some narcissistic personality traits, period, because the people that you choose to hang around are people who are going to pipe you up and tell you how good you are and how great you are and how fantastic you are. Now, let's be clear. Of course, we want to intentionally put ourselves around people who big us up. That's what we do here in the All Queens Army, honey. But let's not only want to be around people who big us up. Let's also embrace people who know how to balance bigging you up and supporting you and piping you up and telling you how dope and bomb you are, but also able to check you when you're wrong and to tell you when you need to apologize and to nudge you when you're getting complacent. Let's normalize having friends who are well-rounded. Let's normalize having spouses who are well-rounded, not just ass kissers and not just people who want to beat you up emotionally all the time and be super critical. Let's normalize well-rounded friends and well-rounded baes and boos, okay? So that's why relationships where there's some challenge is important because it shows that a person genuinely loves you, because someone who really loves you will never let you do some stupid shit and not say anything. Someone who really loves you will never just sit up here and pipe you up and watch you make mistakes because you have some blind spots and some personality characteristics that maybe you can't see past, but that's what your friend or your spouse is supposed to do. That's the whole purpose of them being there. See, they can see you with all of your flaws, not to kick your ass about them, not to beat you up about them, but to call you out on them with compassion, to challenge your growth, to challenge your evolution, to help you become the best version of you, to help you evolve into the person that God put you here to be. So I'm telling you, if you find yourself in a situation where your friends or your boo or your bae no longer challenges you, it literally means that instead of loving you with truth, they are coddling you with praise and validation. So that means they're not friends and they're not baes and boos. They are goddamn fans. And listen, if you want to have an audience of fans, that's fine. Get an audience of fans, but they ain't your friends and they ain't your boo or your bae. Not for real. So let me keep it pushing, okay? Here's another sign. Is the person holding you back, holding you down, or in the way of you living your best life or living life to your fullest and highest potential? Is the person holding you back? Do they have insecurities where it's like, oh no, don't go here. Oh no, I feel uncomfortable with that. Oh no, this hurts my feelings. Oh no, I don't know why you're doing that. Why are you changing? Why are you going here? Why are you talking to these people? I know all of y'all know somebody like that. Their issues standing in the way of you living life to the fullest. Nobody should be in the way. Nobody should be holding you back and nobody should be holding you down. Let me tell you something. I really don't like that term, hold you down. I don't. No, don't hold me down. Let me fly. Period. Because if I fly, you're going to fly with me. If you my friend, my boo, my babe, my mother, my son, I don't care who you are. If I rocks with you and you in my corner and you somebody that I'm in a relationship with, family, friend, coworker, it don't matter. If I fly, you fly. If I'm up, you up. If I'm eating, you eat. So don't hold me back and don't hold me down and don't stand in my way. And I hope you queens feel the same. Matter of fact, y'all better feel the same. Y'all better. I ain't playing with y'all now. Don't be playing with these people. Let nobody hold you back down or getting in your way. Baby, you better do one of them hand chops so that person release you or knock them out your way or something. Don't be letting nobody hold you back down or none of that, okay? All right, moving on, okay? Here's another sign. If you consistently carry the weight in the relationship and you're putting in more effort. Again, this one also applies for any relationship. There are family members that I have relationships with where I'm the one who makes 90% of the effort. Listen, if you're making most of the effort to stay in the relationship or to continue to be engaged with a person, I'm telling you now, you might let it ride for now because it's not that big of a deal. But listen, over time, the shit get old. Like I said, everyone who bends and keeps bending and keeps bending and keeps bending in relationships, and the other person don't have to do no bending, they get to stand up straight all the time every day, but you bending all the time, your back hurting, your knees locking, your thighs burning. I'm telling you, eventually, baby, you burn out. And that's just facts. You burn out and you be done. And not only will you burn out and be done, you'll be bitter. You'll be bitter and you'll be resentful because you felt like, damn, I kept bending, hoping that one day eventually you would notice that I was bending and show some appreciation and bend back, but it never happened. And now I'm pissed off. No, don't even let it go that far. When you realize that the other person is never willing to bend and your ass bent over all the time, stand up and roll out. That's that. Moving on, okay? Here's the last sign that you may be growing out of a relationship, and this one is the most impactful. If you have learned what and all you were supposed to learn from the relationship, baby, let me tell you something. Listen, everything happens for a reason. Everyone you meet for a reason. Every encounter happens for a reason. Everything that happens was meant to happen. You bumping into someone and meeting them was meant to happen. You experiencing something with someone was meant to happen. Some relationships and situationships or friendships or whatever ships are not meant for a lifetime. Some of them are meant for a season. I know you all have heard that cliche term, right? Some of them are meant for a season, some for a lifetime, some for a reason. And it is so true. Some relationships that you guys are trying to hold on to were never meant to be lifelong relationships. Sometimes they were meant for you to learn something, overcome something, teach you something, be a stair step to another place. Some relationships are just that. So yes, you will feel a very strong pull that you've grown out of them because you've learned what you needed to learn. You've experienced what you needed to experience. You've done all you needed to do there. And that's that. So I need you queens to at least accept the fact that if you're having those feelings, especially if you feel a very strong pull that you've outgrown the situation, 90% of the time you have. You've learned what you needed to learn. You got to that chapter. You read it. You learned from it. And now it's on to the next chapter. And that person is no longer a part of your story. And that's that. That's it. That's all. Okay. Now, only you will know if there was a lesson in it, and only you will know what you needed to learn, and only you can learn it. Only you. I can't tell you exactly what that is. That is a very personal experience and it's a very personal journey, okay? All right, queens. So I hope you queens enjoyed this particular topic. I know I certainly enjoyed it. I knew when I chose this topic for today's episode, I knew that it was going to be a banger. I just knew. You know what I mean? Sometimes you just know and you don't know what you know, but you just know that you know it. You know what I mean? But anyway, thank you queens so much, as always, from the bottom of my heart for rocking with your girl. I appreciate y'all more than y'all know. I swear. I literally wish that y'all could see my face sometimes when I'm looking at my emails from y'all. I wish y'all could just see my face because I be all lit up, all cheesy, all red in the face with all the little heart emojis around me and all of that good stuff. I be like, oh my God, I love my queens. But anyway, y'all, make sure you follow me on Instagram at All Queens Army. Also, check out the All Queens Army channel on YouTube and make sure you subscribe to the All Queens Army podcast. I love you queens so much. I will talk to you guys next Monday. Until then, I love you. I love you. I love you. I will talk to you soon. Bye.